Is Charles Van Morgan. Good morning, the Charles Van Morgan Show. Unbridled news. We're broadcasting live in the morning on Friday morning. So welcome, come on in. Today we're gonna talk about some stuff that is highly controversial to some people, but it's not controversial at all. It's a matter of letting people live or murdering them. It's not controversial or not hard to figure out. So we're going to talk about that this morning. Stuff that might invoke what's behind death and destruction is demonic influences. So first off, we're going to pray for God's protection to protect me from demonic influences and evil, wicked people for spreading the truth, for telling the truth. So we're going to talk about something that will maybe invoke demonic powers against me, and also evil, demonic, wicked people, and they're in the government power too. So people try to tag me as anti-government. I'm not anti-government. To be anti-government would be to be anti-me and you, because we are the government in this country. I'm anti-people who have infiltrated our government. That's what I am. So welcome. Come on in, Charles Van Morgan Show. Unbridled news, stuff you want to hear anywhere else. I'll tackle the hard stuff. I'm not in it for a popularity contest at first. I want to be popular to get people on the side of truth. But I'm not in it to lie to people just to get their good wishes and their political support for vote for the movement. It's voters of truth enraged, and after I get the support, it'll be voters of truth encouraged. So I'm not going to pull punches, and stuff I say might offend people until you listen to the arguments. I'm asking you to listen to the arguments, listen to the facts, don't go on emotion. And I can get emotional. The truth is carries a lot of weight and emotion. What these creeps in power are doing is pretty sick. So come on in, Charles Van Morgan Show in the morning. Welcome. We're going to devolve into some issues that are not controversial, pretty clear cut. But people in the government and even demonic forces try to make them, hello, Christopher, try to make them controversial. And killing the innocent is not controversial. You shouldn't do that. That's pretty blatantly obvious, but they try to muddy the water, and we're gonna talk about that today. We're gonna go into a issue that they claim is controversial, and I'm gonna tell you it's not. It's pretty damn clear cut. Listen to the facts. Listen to the science. People think I'm religious. I don't believe in science. Yeah, I do. Follow the science. God made science, so science is God. So following science is not anti-religion or religious. It's the way God made things. The heavens declared the glory of God, and the firmament showeth his handiwork. So God made science. So being religious is scientific. That's what I think. So the Charles Van Morgan Show. Come on in, join me. Let's turn this thing around and get on with the show. We appreciate y'all coming. So I'm going to talk about an issue that a lot of people in power and a lot of demonic forces have made controversial, but it's not controversial. And it puts my life at risk from invoking demonic forces that are a hell of a lot more powerful than me. I mean, there's stuff out there we just don't understand. According to the famous country music singer, when he talks about the woolly swamp, there's things out there we don't understand and that are much more powerful than us. So that's the reason why I pray that God protects me in Jesus' name and protects people who subscribe and follow the vote, voters of truth and rage. So and from evil, wicked people. So we're gonna get. It's okay. Watch out, don't want you to get run over. Watch out. Don't even get run over. It's okay. So yeah, maybe a demonic dog. I don't know. I don't want him to get run over. Sorry. So yeah, but the dog's trying to protect their master there. So yeah, we'll get on along with the show. So broadcasting live in public, a lot of things happen. This is real life. It ain't a perfect scripted show. It goes and it goes. And we'll just tell you the way it is. So we're not scripted, we're real. And so people say, well, why would I talk about stuff that could get me killed? Just shut the hell up and go on. Well, I'm drawn. My personality, God makes people for different tasks. And what is your task? What does God want you to do in life? People are created for a purpose. You're the most significant handiwork that God created in His own image. So God made you for a purpose. And what are you drawn to? A lot of people are drawn to different things. Some people it's working out agreement and being a negotiator. Some people are drawn to different areas in life. So what do you usually do when no one's forcing you to do it? Might be a good indication. That's not wrong or against God. Might be a good indication of what your calling in life is. So the reason why I fight evil is because that's what I'm drawn to. That's my personality. That's what God's created me for. David was drawn to fight the giant. He was trained to do that. I've been trained all my life to fight evil. I was born the only son of a widow from the age of 2 years old. My mother lived on Lookout Mountain, Tennessee, in Chattanooga, where Dr. Martin Luther King mentioned in one of his prophetic speeches, one of the mountains, let freedom ring from Lookout Mountain, Tennessee. I've always been drawn to correcting wrong, to intervening in the battlefield for the right reasons. So that's my forte. That's what I do. I'm very good at it. I have conventional and unconventional means to do that. Now, it's not a fight with bullets. It can be. If somebody tries to take your life, it's a fight with knowledge and education, and it's a fight with experience. And I've got a lot of experience. I'm not a young kid anymore. I'm not that young of a kid anymore. I'm still young. I've lived through a lot of experiences, and I'm also very well educated. I've been to their military schools, so to speak. I've been to their propaganda machine schools. I've been to their law schools, graduated. I passed their propaganda test, their legal test. So I know what the hell I'm talking about. And I have a Master of Arts degree in sociology with an emphasis in criminology. So I know what I'm talking about. I know damn well what I'm talking about. So I've been trained in how to operate on a battlefield. This is a spiritual battlefield. I need to get better at that. And this is a propaganda battlefield. And so that's my calling. That's what I'm drawn to fight where evil is. When I was a trooper, I fought to keep the roads safe. I fought dangerous people on the roads. And let's see how many people we got on here. Make sure this is picking up. So like, share, comments. That's what I'm drawn to. What are you drawn to personally? What do you do when there's no money involved, or that you want to do, and that you're always drawn to, that you're always doing, that's not against God? That could be a good indication of what you're drawn to. That's not evil. Now, there's some things we're drawn to that's evil because we're human. Don't do that. But I'm drawn to confront and fight evil. And it's like the song, about a unique situation, not about the exact words of the song, by Hank Williams Jr. Hank, why do you drink and why do you blow smoke? Why must you live out the songs that you wrote? I'm using that song for educational purposes, YouTube. So don't, they give me a copyright strike. They find every reason to demonetize my videos. So because they don't like my message, because I'm fighting against people with a lot of money and a lot of power because they've extrapolated that, they've taken it from you wrongfully. So YouTube don't like the message. So if you can, support the channel with the square or send the super chat, and I appreciate the ones I've got to keep the channel on there. There's a point of diminishing returns, which, you know, if you're head on in a battle and you're getting killed, there's nothing worth getting killed for, you know. So the thing liberty or death doesn't necessarily, that means my death. So support the channel with super chats, or also the Cash App or Square, so that we can continue to go on and not face diminishing returns. So we're building up this channel, and also the simple act of subscribing, the simple act of sharing, the simple act of liking the channel spreads the message to where we can reach people who do have means if you don't. And we appreciate every one of y'all. So, Hank, why do you drink and why do you blow smoke? Why must you live out the songs that you wrote? Now, I don't drink and I don't blow smoke, but he's talking about if you consider his unique life situation, which is what I'm talking about, his unique life situation. Now, everybody's unique. We got different life experiences and different life situations. So, Van, why do you call out corrupt people in government power when it's dangerous for you to do that? Well, I didn't ask for the fight. I didn't ask for this fight against people in government power. I didn't ask for it. They drew first blood. They drew first blood against somebody that knows how to fight. And if you've ever seen the movie, you'll understand what I'm saying. So this is just defense, and the best defense is a good offense. And trust me, I know how to do it. I'm very good at it. And there's a lot of tools and stuff that I won't talk about because I don't want them to know, that are not illegal or criminal. It's perfectly justified, completely legitimate and constitutional. FBI, TBI, ABC, Alcoholic Beverage Commission, probably even, and Sharma Tissue Allen, the prosecutors all over the state. I'm not doing anything illegal. I'm speaking against you under my First Amendment constitutional rights, which I have a right to do. So, Hank, why do you drink and why do you blow smoke and why must you live out the songs that you wrote? Now, I don't drink and I don't blow smoke. I don't even smoke cigarettes and I don't drink at all. But I'm just telling you, he answered that question, Hank Williams Jr., because he said, stop and think it over. You have to consider my unique life experiences. So why do I do all this? You have to consider my unique life experiences. And my unique life experiences are, they drew first blood. I know how to fight. I've been in the battle. I was in a battle in law enforcement. I protected more people than any trooper in the state by their own admissions. I mean, they gave me awards for it. That's not the reason I did it, for the awards. They could take their awards and throw them in the river. I did it not for paper, to protect little children, to protect human lives. And I protected more human lives than any trooper in the state. That fact they can't hide. They try to by their false propaganda, by falsely alleging that people died in pursuits that I was in. But the truth is, people that in pursuits that I was in would have probably died anyway. One of them was on the wrong side of the road. The other one was going at such a high speed, reckless driving. Had I not been there, they probably would have died. And maybe, had I not tried to intervene and protect even them, they might have killed an innocent person. So sending somebody off to war and saying because they're a soldier in the war and the enemy got killed that they're responsible is taking something completely out of context. This is what they do with their propaganda and try to blow that up. And that's completely absurd, and that's what they try to do. They try to get you to go on emotion and don't look at the facts. The facts are, it's my responsibility to be around drunk and impaired drivers. The fact is, drunk and impaired drivers kill themselves all the time without officers there. The fact is, if it's your job to be around those kind of dangerous people, then bad stuff's going to happen sometimes without you having anything to do with it, you trying to intervene. The fact is, if you've been in and around that type of stuff, then the fact is that you have probably saved, and I did, numerous lives that people didn't get killed that they don't want to talk about, but it was about 150 every year with extreme high intoxication levels. So they try to get you going emotion. They don't want to talk about facts. But what about the people that made it home? Because they were in the back seat of my car, the hundreds What about the numbers, the fatality rate going down? They don't want to talk about that. So I was better at that by their own admission. You see a first place award certificate on the front page of this. So what was that for? That's sending a message too. Sending a message, that's first place. Don't say what it's for. I'll tell you what it's for. Let's see how many people we got in here. And I'm just telling you about my unique situation. And then we're going to talk about something highly controversial that may invoke demonic influences. But I've just prayed, and wicked people, and they've been after me for a long time. You don't see a scratch on me. There's a lot of scratches on them though, because God is on my side. I won't fear what man can do to me. So we're going to talk about that. Hang on in here. Going to the bridge, our signature spot that we may have to change depending on how reckless it gets. A beautiful sight. So hang in here with me. Got a bunch of paperwork I want to show you, and we'll continue my unique situation. Why would I want to put myself in this position? I done explained to you. They drew first blood, and we'll continue with that dialogue. Thank y'all so very much. So we got a few people in here. This guy's the type of voice that could lead a group of soldiers. Thank you. I appreciate that. I hope so. That's what I'm trying to do. And what's up in your case? Okay, people talking amongst yourself. Good, says the regular at the local liquor store. Yeah, well, if you got a picture of me drinking, then let me know. Yeah, then let me know. So, as Hank Williams said, stop and think it over. Why does he do what he does? Why do I do what I do? Stop and think it over and consider my unique situation. So I'm not telling everybody to pick up a cell phone and tell the truth about people in government and state power, or talk about issues that they claim are controversial that are really clear cut because they want to say it's controversial, because that's a foot in the door to explain why they kill the innocent, allow the innocent to be killed, and kill the innocent. So it's deception. It's been going on since the Garden of Eden. So the reason why I stand up against the government power, the people in government, the illegitimate power that they have, is because of my unique life situation. Because when I was out fighting people on the road, getting drunk drivers off the road, being the best at that war, the best at that fight that anybody in the whole state could do, I was pretty damn good at it. Now they think it's funny, but you know, the truth is that I'm pretty damn good at what I set my mind to do, and there's a lot of tactics and techniques that I've learned in life. I've been trained by them. So while I was doing that, the best at it, they took that fight away from me. I no longer arrest drunk drivers. I no longer do that. They illegitimately raised the fatality rate. They think it's funny because it's not about them. It's not about you, it's about them. So I take those same talents, those same efforts that led the state in drunk driving. That's a pretty astounding fight that I led to significantly, almost single-handedly lower the fatality rate. They won't tell you that. When I was on the road as a Tennessee State Trooper, and you were driving on Chapman Highway or Emory Road or Clinton Highway, or I used to call it Drinking Pike, you stood a better chance when I was out on the road of getting home safely. Or if you were drunk and a danger to yourself and others, you stood a real good chance of getting home safely after you took a trip to the jailhouse. That's just a fact. Better than any trooper in the state. They can't deny that. Numbers don't lie. 150 as compared to 2 a year. So my unique situation is that I'm a damn fighter, the best of the best. And you know, it's not bragging. I put facts to it. That's just the truth. That's just the absolute, not propaganda, not false propaganda, truth about the matter. I'm pretty good at what I did. Excellent at it. Now, people in government power lied on me. They lied. So there's a bigger fight. There's a bigger fight. My unique situation is God took that fight away from me. I was good at it. Hey, that's fine. There's a bigger fight. There's a bigger fish to fry, and I'm frying it. The bigger fish to fry is people in state power, in state government, that have infiltrated our system, that don't care about the roads being safe. They care more about their power, that care more about their friends and relatives, that care more about their money, that care more about living off you, your tax money, that care more in Tennessee about living off California's tax money Then they care about providing for public safety. Then they care about honoring the Constitution of the United States of America. And I'm here to educate you. And my unique situation is that I'm a fighter, and this is a new fight. And the fact that I didn't seek public attention. I was not anywhere seeking awards or compliments. I sought to protect the public. I had hoped to be promoted to be in a position to train other officers, other troopers, how to be effective in what I was doing to get intoxicated people off the road as safely as possible, and the ones that you couldn't get off the road at a minimum where they wouldn't kill innocent people, which is they didn't. The whole time I was on the road, no one innocent got killed when I was involved in it. I'd hoped to train other troopers and other officers to educate them how that was done, and I might explain to you how I did that. But the state crookedly promoted other people based on who their daddy is. I'm the son of a widow. I learned how to fight. When I was a kid, I didn't have a daddy to say, don't pick on my boy or promote my boy. I had to fight myself. So they underestimate. They got some bad data. You know, in verbal judo, they talk about, which is what I was taught in their crazy Highway Patrol Academy. That's a cult. They taught verbal judo. When you're out on the road and you stop somebody for a criminal violation, somebody that's dangerous driving, they start telling you you're a stupid idiot or whatever going on, then you don't just punch them in the face. You use what's called verbal judo. One of the verbal judo means is say you got bad data, and you use language that redirects what they're saying, and it's called verbal judo. So they got some bad data. People in the state got some bad data. They should have looked at the damn numbers. They should have seen, hey, this guy is serious about what he's doing. He's dedicated to saving lives, and it protects them better than anybody in the state. If we go after him, like Donald Trump said, if you come after me, I'll go after you. They didn't read the numbers. They're pretty damn stupid people. They are stupid. And they think they're winning. Hey, we won for 13 years. What about 14 years, 15 years, 16 years, 17 years, 18? What about on and on and on? Once you start a fight with a fighter, it never goes away. So what you do is, if you're smart, if you got any intelligence, you don't start a fight with a fighter. Unless you're a fighter, which they are not, they're dumbasses. Quite frankly, they're idiots. They're babbling idiots. And we're exposing their idiocy. So my unique situation, I was out at night, not bothering anybody except for people, not bothering anybody, even people that were drunk. I was helping them. I was out protecting society. I wasn't out like they are now. They don't know what they're doing. Arresting innocent people for drunk driving to get their numbers up so they can act like propaganda that they're doing, that they're supposed to be doing what they're doing. And you hear all these cases where troopers are arresting innocent people, and all these people are coming forward that they arrested wrongly. How many people? I arrested more people than anybody in the whole state of Tennessee for years. How many people have come forward and said, my blood test was 0, I wasn't drunk? 0, I knew what I was doing. They could have used me to train those troopers how to arrest people that needed to be arrested, but Kimberly Ogle in Sevierville put her little boys, her little clique, her little cult together and took me off the FTO program, and now you see what you got. You see what you got. Now when you drive down the road under the people that Kimberly Ogle trained, you got a good chance of going to jail if you're stone cold sober. That's what you got to worry about. She took me off the field training program. That's one of the issues I complained about. I wanted to show other officers how to do what I did. And they say, well, you didn't do nothing good. I lowered the fatality rate. Let me show you letters I got from them before I complained about stuff that they were doing to endanger society. So you know, they can put all the false propaganda they want to and say somebody's dead, blame me. There's people dying now in pursuits, blame me. Yeah, right. They do that because of emotion. Try to draw a line where none belongs, and I'm going to draw a line where it belongs, straight to them, and show you the truth and build this movement, voters of truth and rage. Vote for truth. And I'm going to tell you some truth you ought to vote for. And that's what's dangerous. That's what's dangerous. But I'm a fighter, so my unique situation is that I was out at night. Not bothering anybody, even the drunk people. I didn't bother them. I saved their lives. Some of them thanked me after the fact. So and lowering the fatality rate. Your family was a hell of a lot safer when I was out on the roads. A hell of a lot safer. They even tried to twist it in the bar examiners when they were had a rigged meeting, and I put out the video yesterday. The first hearing that I had with Tennessee Board of Law Examiners. We'll talk about that somewhere. They denied me my law license, where they denied me the chance to defend you in court. So we'll fight them. They won't let me fight the dirty judges and courts in the courtroom. We'll fight them out here on the sidewalk. We'll use what we got. That's what war is. It's not pretty, but it's real. And this is a war of knowledge and words. It's not a violent war. It is to protect ourselves from their violence, but I don't agree with violence. I agree with unruly tactics. They'd like to lock me down, say that I'm promoting violence. I'm not promoting violence. I'm promoting truth. The problem with them is the truth is against them. That's what they don't want you to hear. The truth is against the government, people that have infiltrated our government institutions. So, my unique situation is they drew first blood, and also the bar examiners even mentioned a pursuit I was in. Other than the one that they were saying I lied about, where I was completely cleared, trying to muddy the waters, that I wasn't even in a pursuit when the person killed herself. That had almost 3 times the legal limit, trying to muddy the water, trying to make you go on emotion. Judge Barker did that. You can listen to that video, and I'll say some stuff about that video, but they're trying to make you go on emotion, not on facts. I'm telling you the facts, and the facts ought to get you mad as hell, because these people in government power are trying to run over you. They're dirty as hell. And the reason why I'm out here telling the truth about them, even though they're dangerous, is because my unique situation. They drew first blood, and I was out on the road. I'm a fighter. That's what I'm drawn to. I wasn't seeking public attention, but they put me out in the public. They put me out in the public in a derogatory manner, a very derogatory, false, defamatory manner. The people in state government, using state government power, defamed me. They said false stuff about me. That was not privileged, and also privileged, but it was still false. The only reason why they get by with it is because it's privileged. A judge ruled it, so it's privileged, and these dirty judges can say anything they want, and that's what I'm fighting. So I'm explaining to you my unique situation. Why I'm doing what I'm doing is because they put me out in the public on YouTube. They put that pursuit on YouTube, put my picture out in the paper, all over the front page, numerous papers all over the world, saying that I did something wrong when I didn't do anything wrong. That was a lie. That was a lie. I was out quietly at night, quietly protecting people, not bothering anybody, lowering the fatality rate, doing my damn job like they should have been doing. And they put me out in the public. So that's my unique situation. So I'm already out in the public. They put me out in the public. So why should I run from that? I'll just that's one of a military tactic. And that's a tactic of combat. Sun Tzu, you use what they give you. They put you in where they want you, and where you can't get out without getting killed, then you use where they put you. If you're in a cage, you use that cage to infiltrate their system. So you never beat if you're a fighter. That's what they don't understand. So bring it on, dirtbag thugs. So welcome. Everybody come on in. So, yeah, YouTube is limiting my videos. Grump is losing. Yeah, okay. What kind of degree you have, faceless jackass? Hey, Milt. Yeah. So, welcome. Everybody welcome. Come on in. So you can see the welcome sign. And so, yeah, YouTube is limiting my viewers. So if you're one of the few that's in here, that's enjoying the program, then feel special. So they put me out in the papers. So I'm on YouTube now, but I'd be on YouTube anyway. So I mean, is that little logic? Does that comprehend to anybody? They're the ones who put me out in public. They put me on YouTube in a bad light. They told a lie. They told clear lies. I proved it. Look, listen to my videos. They've told clear falsehoods about me. Falsehoods. I can't even get more votes in an election right now. Right now, things flip. The script flips. That's what you know when you're a fighter. You keep on. As long as you're alive, you got the fight in you. It ain't over. It ain't over. So I can't even beat somebody that's a felon running from law enforcement. Got more votes than me because they build up felons. Leave felons alone, and they try to go after people like me that spread the truth about them. That's why I can't get more votes than somebody that ran from the law, even though I used to be the law and people ran from me. And I'm still obeying the Constitution, so I'm still the law, constitutionally protecting citizens. And they're not. That's the reason why they're after me. They're dirtbags. They're cowards. And they're even limited in my views on YouTube. The algorithm doesn't spread the truth. Yeah, wow. So if they kick me off here, I'll be on Telegram. I'll be on Rumble. I'll be on Facebook. Now Facebook sanctioned me. I think they've let me on now. I'll be on X, formerly Twitter, or I'll be on. They kicked me off TikTok. Isn't that funny? The Communist China TikTok channel they've kicked me off of. I haven't said anything violent. I've said vote. I've said stuff truthful about people in government power that run TikTok. Wow. So, you look at all these United States senators and all these powerful people that are on TikTok. Yeah, they must be saying stuff that is in favor of TikTok for Communist China. I mean, I don't know. You go figure. They won't let me on TikTok. I can't post a video on TikTok. They banned me from TikTok. Wow. And I haven't said do anything violent at all. I've said vote. VOTE. Power to you, the people, vote. So they don't like me to tell people to vote. Isn't that amazing? Vote, and they kick you off. Yeah, because they know there's more of us than them. So my unique situation, like Hank Williams Jr., is that I'm a fighter. And that's what God's given me talents and also training to do. And the data shows I was very damn good at it, better than they ever dreamed of being. And I'm still damn good at it. They just switched the fight. So we'll go with this. I like a fight. That's who I am. That's what I do. I fight evil. And that's what I'm going to do today. And you're going to hear some stuff that might endanger my life. That's all right. We'll go with it. You only live once. And if they kill me, they'll send me right to heaven because I'm not perfect, but I'm forgiven. So why do I do what I do? Like Hank Williams said in his song. People ask him, Hank, why do you drink? Why do you blow smoke? Why do you live out the songs that you wrote? Van, why do you fight and continue to fight? Why do you protect the Constitution when there's people more power in government than you? Well, stop and think it over. Put yourself in my unique situation. I'm just carrying on my life God-given calling from what God's put me on the planet to do. And when God gives you something to do, you're not going to lose. Just follow God's will. So what's God's will for your life? Mine's to fight corrupt people in government power. So they put me out in the public. It's my unique situation. So I'll use what they gave me. I didn't want to be out in the public situation. I would rather not have to have this YouTube channel, and I didn't want to be out in the public, but they put me out in the public, so we'll go with that. Use that weapon against them. They put me out in the public, so we'll do that. They put me out in the public in a defamatory manner, trying to endanger my life. So I'll put myself out in the public in a positive manner, explain to people why they're lying, and explain to people the truth about these dirtbags in public power. So that's my unique situation. So like, share, comment, spread the message of vote. Contact one of your friends and spread the message. Power to you, the people movement. It's called VOTE, Voters of Truth Enraged. If you live in Tennessee, Voters of Tennessee Enraged. I'll use my unique situation, my fighting ability, my knowledge, my experience, and what they've done that I didn't choose, where they put me, I'll stand up on a platform and use it. So imagine that. Thank you, people in power in the state of Tennessee. I appreciate it. You made me world famous. I'll go with world fame and tell them about how crooked you are and why you did what you did, you dirtbag idiots. So like, share, spread the message. So we're going to talk about a controversial issue, and boy, YouTube is really lowering my views. Like, share, comment, and help spread the videos. The government fears exposure. People in government power fear people putting out the truth about them. They fear people attacking their illegitimate acts by information and knowledge. So spread the message. Let's get the truth out. So the issue that I want to talk about today, coming up on the bridge, that may get me killed. I hope not, pray not. But you know, when you go into battle, you take chances. And if that's what you're calling to do is, then hey, that's the way it goes down. And I don't think that's going to happen. I haven't seen the other side. I don't know. I'm not like Dr. Martin Luther King, who I believe prophesied of my being here. I don't see the other side. He predicted his death at a young age. I predict I'm going to live to be over 100, and we're going to win the fight against the state, people in state power, and we're going to get our government in the hands of ourselves, and we're going to fight for our constitutional rights. That's what I predict. But you can't be afraid to fight evil. And my unique situation is I'm out front because they put me out here. So we'll go with it. Thank you, people in power and state government. You damn fools. And that's what they are, they're fools. They read bad data. So we're going to talk about the topic that's controversial to them. It's not controversial at all. It is abortion. Abortion. We're going to talk about abortion. Imagine that. I'm going to tackle that topic. Now, I might lose some followers or if you want to listen to the other side, they don't like to listen to the other side. They don't like to listen to both sides. I've listened to both sides. I know both sides. I'm very sympathetic. God forgives. God forgives. And when God forgives, it's like it never happened. So if you've had a abortion, an induced abortion where you did it, don't fear. Let's get across this road here. God forgives. And I haven't, obviously, so I can't stand in judgment. I don't know your particular circumstances, but abortion is killing an innocent human being. And there are abortions that are not, but a lot of the abortions that are going on are murder of innocent children. It's demonic. When you talk against abortion, it invokes demonic forces. That's just the damn truth. If you don't believe, like Charlie Daniels said, there's things out there we just don't understand, then things that you don't understand that you don't pray for God to help you with might put you 6 foot in the ground. You better recognize evil. Even Barack Obama admitted that there was evil. So we will park it right here at a different location. We don't have a whole lot of viewers, so I think YouTube is minimizing our views for whatever reason. Like, share, comment, and spread. Call your friends, tell them to turn on YouTube. Charles Van Morgan's fixing to talk about abortion. Where does he stand on it? You want to know? I'll tell you. There are some natural abortions where people have miscarriage. That's abortion. That's a natural abortion. Mother can't do nothing about that. I'm not unreasonable. There are abortions that are to save the life of the mother. That if the child is allowed to continue, it's going to kill the mother. They know that. With pretty much scientific certainty. That's not murder. I'm not I'm not extreme in my beliefs. The other side's extreme. They're demonic, some of them, and they wanna kill every innocent child that they can find unborn due to demonic worship, which is what abortion stems from, demonic worship. So we're going to get to the other side of the bridge, show you the view here, and we're going to talk about the clear-cut, non-controversial subject of abortion, because it's not controversial. The value of human life is not controversial. For normal, decent people, people value life. If you don't, you're the one controversial, trying to throw stuff that don't make sense and spin stuff. So here's the view from the bridge. So yeah, YouTube is really minimizing our views. So let's see, Charles, do you love your good? Yeah, okay. All these rude comments in here. All the people talking. How about the look at yourselves? You're a man's YouTube live talking shit about him when all this lying trying to do is send you a message that says more about you than him. That's right, Joseph Witt 3950. Thank you. That's absolutely right. So Eva says hi, hello. Eva. Instead of buying the BS, Charles is selling you the dash cam videos available in my post. Make your own judgment. Okay, yeah. That dash cam video clears me. Now look at the part where I'm standing right near a fire. The dash cam video doesn't clear me at all. And why is Mr. Old Glory Faceless in here if he's not somebody in government power trying to spread propaganda? Why is he on my page? Why does he feel like, if it's so obvious, why does he feel like he's got to say that false stuff? I mean, if you're walking past a drunk and a drunk on the sidewalk bumming money asks you for money, and you don't want to give him no money because he's probably going to go to the liquor store, do you even stop to argue with him? You just keep on going. You don't even pay any attention to him. You might smile and nod, but you don't give him money. He's going to the liquor store. If it's a great politician in a suit claims to be a Christian, if it's Bill Lee asking for campaign donations, you're not going to walk right past him. You're going to stop and you may give him some money because it's somebody that has political clout and political power, somebody that makes a difference. That's who you confront. So the more confrontation, thank you, the better. That just proves my point. A video is look at football games. Happens all the time. Look at my dash cam and then look at a football game where a referee misses a call. Happens all the time. You can see things in a video that you can't see in real life. You can see the referee misses calls because he didn't see stuff. So that video doesn't prove anything except for what they want to tell you that it proves, which it absolutely does not. They lie. They lie under oath about that. So thank you for being in here fighting the truth. You help spread the message, because if it's so obvious why you have to defend it. I know what happened. I was there. Thank you for bringing it up. That's where they put me out on YouTube. They put that falsehood out, and that's why I'm out here today spreading the truth. So we're going to talk about the controversial topic to them, not the people that value life, of abortion. So like, share, comment. Eva says hi, hello. We're going to talk about the plain topic, stay alive. Wow, thank you. It proved you're incompetent. No, it didn't. Didn't prove nothing. It proved that the government lies. Incompetence is arresting more people and making the road safe. That's not incompetence. It proves that you're a dirty liar, that you have to confront somebody that's a better damn fighter than you ever dreamed of being. I've sucked you into my YouTube channel. I'm pretty damn good at what I do. I'm not on your YouTube channel, because let me tell you what, I don't give a damn what you got to say. So, go with that. You're on my YouTube channel exactly where I want you to be, spreading a bunch of lies exactly what I want you to do. So you might be fighting somebody that's a hell of a lot smarter than you, Mr. JD. Oh, you don't have one. Yeah, and spread those lies. They help me. Because when you spread lies, it helps the algorithm. And I'm low on views, so I need you to spread a lot of lies, dumbass. If you think that bothers me, that lie's been out for 13 years. So you better think of something new. These people don't even understand, do they? It's fun when you're winning. It's fun when you're winning. The hard part is when you're hunkered down when they started the lie. 13 years later, go on. Go, keep it up. Yeah, I've showed pictures and evidence from, when you lie, there's evidence to prove you're lying. When you're telling the truth, there's nothing can refute it. Listen to my YouTube video where a hearing I posted last night where I was under oath. Unlike this little bot in here that can say the sky's down and the earth is flat, that can lie, and bring evidence and lies to try to show that lie. Go ahead. But yesterday I posted a video about my first attempt to get licensed to practice law, to go in this courtroom and defend you all, defend the Constitution. And they denied me a law license. I was under oath in that court hearing. If I committed perjury, then they should charge me. But they won't charge me for perjury because they know they'll rule whatever they want against me. But if they charge me with perjury, I got a right to go in front of 12 citizens, 12 jurors, 12 members of the public, 12 of my peers, which is what they try to get you not to do. That's why they'll charge you with a crime, and before it goes to trial, they'll dismiss it because they want to hook you up with a mugshot. But why didn't they charge me? Because they know with perjury, I testified under oath that I didn't see that car as a wreck, that I didn't do anything wrong, that I disagreed with court, that I thought they got it wrong. And I didn't change, and I said that under oath. So if they can prove what they're saying, and I can prove what I'm saying. If they can prove what they're saying, then why don't they charge me with perjury and bring it in front of a jury? Because they know in front of a jury, then they'd look pretty damn bad for the crooked criminal stuff that they did. And they're fighting for legitimacy where there none is there. Your government in Tennessee is not a legitimate government. They're full of lies. They don't want me saying that. So they get on here, follow me around on here. Keep following, you're helping. They don't understand. You take what you got. They gave me a public forum, I'll use it for good. And they're following me around. Well, you ask yourself, why is that? Thank you so very much, you stupid fools. And let me encourage you to stay on here. I hope you don't leave. I really don't. And I know they don't have any sense, so they won't. But it helps the algorithm, helps get my message out. So thank you all. So we're almost to the end of the bridge. We're going to go over their controversial issue of abortion. It's not controversial. Valuing human life is not controversial. That's just a matter of God-given conscience and God-given sense that we should value human life, that a society should value human life. Their abortion on demand is sick. And I'll explain to you how it's sick. It even seeps out of them when they talk about it. Like Ralph Northam talked about it on the radio show, and he was the governor of Virginia. He let it seep out of his sick mouth. I'd hate to be that man, but when he stands before God, that's why we have so many school shootings. They don't want you to, they don't want you to know that you'll pay a price before the righteous true judge. And they don't want you to know that. So we'll go down to the city county building. I got these noise makers out here, these leaf blowers. So it's a noisy world, isn't it? I need to get a microphone so that y'all can hear me better, but I can't afford one right now. So if you want me to get a microphone, a real good one's about $500. So if you want me to get a microphone so you can hear me better, then contribute. Otherwise, I got to go with what I got. It's like street fighting. You got to do what you got to do. So yeah, and you can hear me above the noisemakers. So we'll get into the subject. We can find a good location of man, how many times they got to blow leaves? They're out there every day blowing leaves. Oh my goodness, there's a leaf out here. We got to make noise all over the whole downtown Knoxville to get rid of a leaf. Wow. So yeah, and they blow it on the road. They blow leaves and they have a stack on the roads. I'd say it's a little bit safer if it is in a yard or in the grass. If they blow it on the leaves, blow it on the road. I literally caught a motorcycle, which is hard to catch. They're faster than patrol cars, because he turned a corner and he lost control of his vehicle, sliding on leaves and grass that somebody had mowed out in the road. So literally made a motorcycle have a wreck. So thank you all for making the roads more dangerous and beautifying the community. So which one's better? Beautifying the community? Or see, there's a man with a cigarette in his mouth and a little child. I wonder how good that is for that little child. Yeah, smokers, and hope he don't pick that child up and breathe in its face. I'm just saying, people don't like to hear that, but when you smoke cigarettes, you do more than just hurt yourself. You hurt your children if you smoke around them, and that's just the truth. That ain't, so yeah. So let's go down to the city county building. We'll show you see if they've still got since they're going to run us off with the noisemaker, see if they still got my campaign literature, my vote literature, my message out against the state in front of the city county building, that we engaged in some social movement activity outside government channels, perfectly legal and legitimate, exercising our First Amendment rights, where we put some truthful derogatory information about people in government power, and endangered ourselves. But I'm a fighter. They done put me out in public endangering me. That's my unique situation. So I'll go with what they gave me. So thank y'all for joining me. YouTube's got the algorithm shutting me down a little bit. That's all right. We'll put the message out to whoever listens, and it'll be posted on YouTube. So listen to my video if you want to. The first time they denied me my law license, you can hear me under oath, explaining what happened in that pursuit. Again, I've told that story under oath 3 times, and no one's ever been able to refute anything I said, because it's true. If you lie, and I can refute a lot of stuff they say by facts and when you lie, there's always something that can disprove it. That's why, what a tangled web we weave when at first we attempt to deceive. So we're downtown Knoxville. So if you lie, there's something that can disprove it. So you got to be very careful. The thing is, don't lie, just keep your mouth shut. But if you're telling the truth, you can be bold in the truth. It doesn't matter, because you know that even if they exploit something, say this proves your line, you can explain the real reason why that happened. Like they say, I slowed down because I seen the wreck. So they're exploiting me slowing down. Yeah, I slowed down, but it's not because I seen the wreck and identified it as a wreck. It's because the road forked, and it's because I lost sight of the vehicle. It happened to be at the same time, because at the same time I lost sight of it because it wrecked off the road. So that goes together, rather than what they say doesn't make any sense, that I seen it and didn't stop. So they exploit facts out of context and say that fact means this. No, it doesn't. It means exactly what I said it meant, that I slowed down because I lost sight of the car in the road fork. So that's the reason for that. And you can listen to the interview. You can listen to my testimony under oath, telling the Board of Law Examiners, and they can't disprove it. If they can, why don't they charge me with a crime? Because they know I'd go in front of a jury and talk about the crimes that they committed, that I can prove, that facts that there's no other explanation for, because they're multiplied facts that they've even admitted to. And I've shown them out on plenty of different videos. So, wow, more noisemakers down here. Man, they got them damn leaf noisemakers no matter where you go. They're gonna blast that in your ear. They're making the world a better place, aren't they? Yeah. That's what the government does. So we'll go see. You have to deal with the noise. If they still got my signs up, I bet they probably do. But we'll see. They usually leave them up for a little while before they try to take them down. And we're going to talk about the plain, clear-cut topic of abortion and how, and we're talking about voting because voting should, and the movement, voters of Truth and Rage, or if you're in Tennessee, voters of Truth and Rage, and if you can't hear me, we won't stay here long. I'm just going to check and see if because of the noise makers, we're just going to see if they still have my social movement material out, and if they do, that's great. If they don't, then we'll have to put another one up. So thank y'all for joining me. Like, share, comment. So here's the noise makers. Leaf blowers all over the place. Listen to this noise. Wow. They could use electric engines too. But they use these noise makers. Yeah, obviously I don't like a lot of noise. So let's go over here and see if they got this up. See if they got my campaign flyers. Yeah, they still got them up. Okay. So we still got them up here. So Sergeant Russell, I had to pay for my campaign. You paid for Lionel Russell and tax-paid street signs, hailing him a hero when he's a thug, white-collar criminal, paid for, authorized by Charles Van Morgan, YouTube. So yeah, see his. You paid for that sign. I paid for that one. So even use recyclable paper. And here's the other one. Vote. Here's the other one. So vote. They left that up before and they took this down. Here is a speaker spotlight. You see the Highway Patrol emblem. It says here, she worked. Captain Heatherly is also a 20-year military veteran, retired from the 278th, 11th Division Tennessee National Guard. Got her picture right there. Captain Station. Now she's a major. I reported this to them. I sent them this flyer. Got their emblem. Says she was in the military. And the truth is, she never served a day. And after the governor was notified, he promoted her to major of the Highway Patrol. Got this here at government at the city county building. Got this here at the city county building. And so yeah. So we got our propaganda out. So. Can I ask y'all what religion are y'all? Pardon, Joe Witness. Well, I am Christian, so obviously, but I do agree with the Bible.
Good.
But I believe that Jesus Christ was God's only Son, and I don't think y'all believe that.
Well, we sure do.
Yeah.
Only begotten.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's the only way to heaven is through Jesus Christ. Through
The
God.
first one to go to heaven, isn't he?
Well,
On the earth.
yeah. Well, he's God's Son, so
Yeah.
he's part of the Trinity. If you believe that, it's like the Catholic religion. I'm not going to film you on here. I'm YouTube live doing my little show here in a social movement, but I'm a lawyer that won't let me in they won't let me in the courthouse because I'll defend the Constitution. But Jehovah's Witness cases in the law were even though some of the beliefs I don't agree with, but if you believe that Jesus Christ is God's only Son, that's the way to heaven. That's what I believe.
But he's the Son of God, that's for sure.
But
And the only begotten Son.
Catholics believe that too, and I don't believe all the stuff Catholic, but there's enough in there to get them saved, is what I think. So you know, but that's what. But
they won't let you in the courthouse.
Yeah, because
if you're a lawyer.
Yeah, because these dirty judges in here, you know, like Baumgarten, I call this Baumgarten Courthouse. They don't want a lawyer that says, wait a minute, you shouldn't be doing that. You know, you're dishonor. They don't want somebody standing up. It's all about government propaganda, and they don't want somebody that protects people's constitutional rights. So they allege that I'm not candid to be a lawyer, when the fact is that they're not only not candid, they commit criminal acts of dishonesty.
Wow.
And you can look at my YouTube page. So I practice law against the government out here on the street, exercising what I know is my First Amendment constitutional rights.
You go to UT?
I graduated from UT with a Master of Arts in
Tennessee stuff.
a Master of Arts in Sociology, and I also have a Doctor's of Jurisprudence. So I went to their propaganda schools, and I know what they're doing. But let me tell you this: the Jehovah's Witness cases are a lot of cases why I'm out here in public, because you all won a case in the United States Supreme Court where you all were in a city that they told you all you couldn't knock on doors. Yeah, right.
Right in Ohio.
And see, I know that, and political speech is protected.
Over 50 cases won by
Yeah,
justice.
yeah. So
Freedom of religion.
thank you all for. I'm just saying, y'all mind. I won't put you on camera if you don't want to.
No, we don't want to be on.
Well, okay, then I won't. Even though I could, but I respect people. But yeah, the Jehovah's Witnesses gave me the right in a political campaign or to walk up to a door and knock on a door between 9 a.m. and 9 p.m. So, and you know, they have literally, I won the case because I'm speaking against people in government power, which you can do in this country. You're supposed to be able to, right? You're supposed to be able to say, hey, this judge did this wrong. He put somebody in jail illegally. They won't let you do that. Or pass out material that tells the truth about them. But they literally put me in jail for, I'm in America. You know, we worry about Russia. What about America?
We focus on the Bible.
Well, I do too. I'm a Christian too.
We're going to stick with that, what it says, and hope for the future. I totally believe what the Bible says.
Hey, I can't argue with that. Maybe there's different variations of the Jehovah's Witness belief. I don't know. I thought that some of y'all believe that Jesus Christ wasn't the Son of God. That he's
No.
okay.
How could we?
Right.
It's right in the Bible.
Right. So,
Christian means follow Christ.
follower of Christ. Right. And Christ was a fighter too. You know, he threw people out of the temple.
He was righteously indignant.
Yeah, and that I'm a follower of Christ. There's nothing wrong with being righteously indignant. I don't believe in violence, but I do. If you're black and you stand up against the government, that's all right. You know, perfectly. But what about if you're white? But they put me in jail for camp. Obviously, I won the case, and I cited that Jehovah's Witness case. You know, because, but they want to get a mugshot of you to say you did something wrong. You know, so yeah, so I appreciate that. That's the thing about. I'm just a little bit smarter than they are, so I dare them to put me in jail again because I need some campaign money. God bless you all, I pray. So yeah, so we, you know, I don't know, maybe some different Jehovah's Witness beliefs. So yeah, I didn't put them on camera. They don't want to be on camera, but thank you. I appreciate that.
No problem. I gotta hurry up though. I gotta go to court.
God bless you, I pray. Yeah, go in there, those dirty judge. Keep your head up, man. So yeah, he loves my YouTube. Man, that's pretty cool. So I got some fans out here, and maybe something about Jehovah's Witnesses I didn't think, but they did make it legal for me to do what I'm doing, getting cases to the United States Supreme Court. So God bless them. So Charles Van Morgan Show live YouTube. Join me. We're broadcasting in the morning. We'll go wherever the news is. So yeah. And we got some papers to cover. We're going to talk about the subject of abortion. It's not controversial. Valuing human life is not controversial. Now, they make it controversial because they're controversial. People valuing human life is a basic human creed, a basic human nature given to us by God. It's not controversial to say that you believe in the value of life at all ends. It's controversial to kill the innocent for no justifiable reason. It's demonic worship. And we'll go over to the bridge and do that. So many people got in here. Yeah, we got a few. So we're broadcasting live. Like, share, comment. Charles lives in a delusion of grandeur when the narrative that he was doing his job doesn't fit. Charles doesn't mind pulling out the piece of paper and changing the narrative. and I appreciate your comments. You don't know how much. So yeah. So it's not a narrative. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to say it's a narrative. I'm saying it's facts, and he's trying to say facts are a narrative. No, facts are facts. Facts matter. What they're doing is a narrative, and I'll make you popular Old Glory. I'll make you popular. Keep boosting my channel, because if you went somewhere, I wouldn't follow you around, because I don't follow trash. But you follow and call yourself Old Glory. Yeah, thank you so much. Yeah, and these people just don't understand. We'll whoop them like the dogs they are. So yeah, I think that's probably a bunch of lawyers on the way to the crooked courthouse. So we'll talk about the dirty, the people who promote the killing of innocent children and how they are demonic. We'll go over here to the bridge, and then we got some stuff to cover. And this is in line with the vote, because how that ties in is no matter who you vote for, it shouldn't matter about a personality. It shouldn't matter to a large extent. I mean, it's fine if you vote for somebody because you like their personality, but that shouldn't be the core thing. The core reason why people should vote, and I'm promoting voting, so the core reason why people should vote is for your core beliefs. People that believe in core foundational beliefs. And if they don't believe in your core foundational beliefs, like the value and sanctity of human life, then I don't care how grand their personality is or how likable they were, then you shouldn't vote for them. You shouldn't vote for people that defy your core foundational beliefs. Voters of truth and rage. If they violate the truth, then don't vote for them. That's just a simple thing that people defy for voting for a party. I don't vote for a party because I don't like either party, but I do vote for people that are in political parties because of their core fundamental beliefs. So if a politician is in the Republican Party and supports your core fundamental beliefs, then vote for them. If a politician is in the Democratic Party and they support your core fundamental beliefs that are in accordance with God's word, and there's a particular party that has a lot of beliefs that aren't in accordance to God's word, namely the Democratic Party, but there are some pro-life Democrats. A lot of them that have some sense. So one of the core things you should vote for is people that support your core beliefs. A core belief is a belief that you can't ignore. You can't support someone who doesn't agree with that core belief, no matter their personality. So that's a no trespassing. You don't step on my core beliefs, or I won't vote for you. So if you are pro-abortion, hey, that's between you and God. I get it, but I'm not going to vote. Wow, I almost fell down. I'm not going to vote for a pro-abortion candidate because that's a core fundamental belief. But if you're pro-abortion and that's not one of your fundamental beliefs, you can still support vote. Just because that's one of my core fundamental beliefs, because that's not your core fundamental belief. If you get where I'm going. So let's look at abortion. And according to Jonathan Cahn, if you listen to his messages on YouTube, he talks about abortion and abortion being legal in the United States. And boy, they're not going to turn those noisemakers off, are they? Abortion being legal in the United States, they will here soon. I'll try to speak up. Abortion being legal in the United States 50 years ago, 50 years, and 55 years ago now, and that relating to 50 years to the pandemic. That God allowed the environment of the pandemic because of the legalization in the United States of abortion. You can listen to a show, Jonathan Cahn, a pastor, a very good pastor, that I believe upholds the Word of God and the truth. So he relates the pandemic to God's curse on the United States of America for the legalization of abortion 50 years to the day that abortion was legalized. The first abortions came. Let's talk about, now when I was 21 years old, I was in school, I was working, and I had a job, and I was going to a junior college, trying to get a degree in business, and I had a current affairs class, and the instructor told us to write a paper on a current event, and abortion is always a current event. So I decided to write a paper on abortion. We're going to go to the other end of the bridge because of the noisemakers, and that's part of the signature of the show. We're going to have to put up bridges. So this was built in 2013. So like, share, comment, see the traffic. So I had a current affairs class, and the teacher told us, the instructor told us to write a paper on a current topic, a current event. So I chose the topic of abortion, and this is when I was about 21 years old, some 30 years ago. And 21, 31, 41, 51, 40 years ago, excuse me, it don't seem like that long. So I chose the topic of abortion, and I researched and did research and looked into the topic, and looked into when life begins according to science, and looked into the subject scientifically and also spiritually, and I wrote the paper and come to the conclusion based on facts on the side of valuing the sanctity of life. Pro-life was my position, that we should value life, and that we should put restrictions on what I think is murder of unborn children. That we should limit it. Yeah, I got a lot of fans. We should limit abortions to a certain, there are instances, the life of the mother, and I don't even think that we should abort children during rape, because the child is not responsible for that. But whether we should not make that illegal or not is subject to debate. I don't think that we should kill a child, and that we should value life. But that is a case that's exploited, because a lot of women that are raped have their children, and to legalize it that they can't when they're raped is a topic that's put to the forefront. I think they should be encouraged to have the child anyway. But am I prepared to make that legal? I don't know. But it should be illegal. Except for the life of the mother, and in extreme cases, there shouldn't be abortion on the man. So I wrote that paper, turned it into my professor on the side of pro-life, and I got an F for the paper. Got an F. It was a very well-written paper, and I still got an F. And it wasn't because the paper wasn't written good. It was because the professor, the instructor, did not agree with my position. It was a viewpoint restriction, because she didn't agree with the side that I came out on, which is so horrific, because it shows just how blatantly, obviously, people are on the other side of the issue that are pro-abortion on demand. The extreme part, how ridiculous and uncompromising they are. I mean, I got an F. And so they won't even compromise with you. So at 21 years old, I saw how ridiculous and confrontational and unnegotiable the other side is. It wasn't an extreme position to protect human life, but even at 21 years old, I seen, hey, if you stand up on the side of pro-life, valuing human life at all ends, before children are born, and value life in people's old age by providing medical care, how extreme the opposition is. I mean, an F, really? Trying to fail me out of the class for my viewpoint on pro-life. They're extreme, and they're ridiculous, and they're non-negotiable. And, you know, that's a pretty violent, dangerous position to take. I mean, a D-, I think the paper deserved an A. But they won't even allow you to argue your viewpoint. That's not allowed in their book. And I will listen to people who argue for abortion, and I understand that there's probably some reasons. But that impacted me, and has impacted me throughout my whole life, that these people don't want to argue. These people don't want to compromise. These people don't want to hear your side. These people want to murder little children, little innocent children that aren't born yet. That's the truth. I learned that from 21. If you think any differently, then, you know, why'd I get an F on the paper? It's because of an extreme viewpoint that is perpetrated by a lot of people that claim to be pro-choice. And I'm pro-choice too. The unborn child. What about their choice? They don't get a choice. And their extreme views are uncompromising. They won't even compromise. And so, you know, they won't even listen to another side. Even, you know, failing somebody out of a class for a viewpoint that disagrees, a well-rounded, well-reasoned viewpoint. That's in a paper in a college classroom. That's how some of these professors are. And they use their bias to fail people out of classes. You know, there's a professor here at UT that was promoting the death of someone who didn't agree with her. And so we must have a wreck somewhere. And the older I get, the more I hate noise. And she was, when Charlie Kirk died, she was promoting the death, said it's a better world without him, which is a horrific thing to say because he disagrees with her positions on stuff. And is a follower of Jesus Christ. And she said it's a better world with him dead, and he was assassinated by an insidious sniper, which is totally outrageous. And University of Tennessee fired her, I believe justifiably so. And she's arguing, suing, it's going to cost taxpayers money, me and you money, because she's suing, saying that was her own private decision. But that was personal. It wasn't on UT email, it wasn't on UT's time. She's got a right to have her own private opinions. The problem is, I guarantee you, that's not a private opinion. That's an opinion, just like my professor, the instructor that I had in getting my associate degree in junior college, that they enforce that personal opinion in their grading in their classroom and promote their view in their students. So I doubt that that's a private opinion. She made it her private opinion, made it very public, although howbeit on her private forum that was a public forum. So I guarantee you, if they dig deep enough on stuff she does and says in the classroom, that it does infect her teaching ability, extreme views. And that's an extreme view, that you value somebody's death by a sniper. That's an extreme, outrageous view. I wouldn't care if it was a pro-abortionist. I would not agree that the world is a better place from somebody getting shot with a sniper. It's not a better place. How it was done does not make anybody a better place. It puts all of us at risk. That's an extreme view. That's something that we should not tolerate in a civilized society, a professor like that. I think they did the right thing in terminating her, howbeit that being her own private page. dig a little deeper in public teaching that she's done, I guarantee you she's put her propaganda of anti-Israel, of anti-Christian values in her teaching and promoted her anti-Semitism, probably, that she may be. So that's infected her teaching, I guarantee you. So I agree with the University of Tennessee. They may need to get a little more evidence against her, but when I was 21, I had that professor give me an F. This professor here says she's got private opinions, and that has nothing to do with UT. I bet it does. So in my research, I learned that life begins at conception, and their viewpoint is unreasonable. Science shows that. They even perform abortions at hospitals, and the Hippocratic Oath is do no harm. So Governor Newsom, the governor of Virginia, who's a medical doctor, showed how extreme their beliefs are, because he was talking about a child that survived an abortion, or a child that had a defect that wasn't born in his eyes perfect. That what do? If they survive the abortion or they're born with a defect, you let them be born, put them on the table, and then you sustain their life, and they would talk about it and let the parents decide whether or not they wanted to kill that live human being. The Governor Newsom admitted that on live talk radio show. So no, and in a hospital where they have the Hippocratic Oath, it's a Hippocratic Oath if you're going to kill innocent people in a hospital. So they have extreme views. Their views, their views are demonic, because satanic people in the satanic church argued for abortion because they said that it was part of their religious freedom, because they use abortion in their religious rituals. And the Satanic Church argued that before the United States Supreme Court. So it is part of the Satanic Church, satanic rituals, part of demonic worship, part of Satan worship, the death of the most innocent. Kamala Harris used their same terminology when she was running for president. I'm sure she had demonic influence, calling it freedom of choice, calling it the freedom to decide whether or not you abort your own child. Use the same language as they use in the Satanic Church in promoting the human sacrifice of the most innocent to demons. It has a lot to do with demonic worship. And that's where this is dangerous, to call out the mass murder. Millions of innocent children have been sacrificed in the name of pro-choice to little children, to the devil. She calls it reproductive freedom, the same language that the Satanic Worship Church uses. So the lesson is, we all have a conscience that comes from God, and we shouldn't murder the innocent, and shouldn't murder the elderly and have them without medical treatment. So some of you we got in here. So that is my position on abortion, that it should be restricted. Tennessee made it illegal in the state of Tennessee, which is good, and a core belief should be to go along with people who support your core beliefs. So let's see how long we've been on here. We've been on here for a little over an hour. I thank y'all for coming and for listening to what I'm saying. So to show you this, God has a plan. When God says no, He has a plan. Keep trusting in Him. And we'll show you some other stuff. No matter what happens, God is good all the time. So I went all over the state when I was running for governor, stood in front of church signs because they send out good godly messages. And was very encouraged about, and so see, we have Governor Bill Lee says he's pro-life, but he purged 128,000 children from the enrollment in TennCare. So if you don't want abortion, then provide means for little children. Provide means for little children. So if you want people not to have abortions, provide means to take care of little children after they're born. The abortions are racist because they solicit a lot of propaganda is put out for minorities to have an abortion. So the abortion people that promote abortion are racist people. And they promote abortion among the most vulnerable in society that can't afford to take care of their child. And that money should not determine whether or not we kill or let people live. So abortion is illegal in the state of Tennessee, and it should be. And hard times are to be enjoyed, are to be embraced with joy. So this fight that I'm in is to be embraced with joy, fighting the state. And that's the way a fighter looks at it. So thank y'all so very much for joining me. I'll read some of the comments. We've spread this message to get the social movement going. We ran for 2 public offices to get the message spread. We lost the elections, but we didn't lose. We gained a lot of friends, and also we got people on our side. We advanced the ball. So this is where I ran for governor. I may run again, I'm not sure. Charles Van Morgan, independent candidate. And the propaganda the state put out, Rick Taylor, a white supremacist, got more votes than me. And a Constance Avery, a black supremacist, a violent person, got convicted of assault. She better not assault me. Got more votes than me. So supremacist people got more votes than me. Why would the government allow them to have better messages than get out more stuff than that white supremacist and a black supremacist than somebody that believes that Jesus Christ was Jewish? He wasn't. He had dark skin. Because here's the governor, the former governor, and the mayor on the now closed down Gay Street Bridge. So while they did a good job, that bridge they're standing on is closed down right now. The mayor and the billionaire governor that got $1 billion by exploiting you. So symbolically, we need to punch them in the face. Symbolically, punch them in the damn face. So let me show you a letter that I wrote to the sheriff. Because when I was running for governor, Knox County Sheriff's Department stopped me several times. Just running for governor, what I have a right to do. I've got a right to do what I'm doing right now. They got no right to stop me. If they don't like what I'm saying, they can speak against me, like they do. If they don't like what I'm saying, they can stand on the sidewalk and say, they can point at me and say I'm a dirty liar. They can get on my YouTube page, like some of them are, say bad stuff about me. They have no right to stop me, tell me to give them my ID and to stop what I'm doing. I have a right to go against the government, people in government power right now. So I'm going to show y'all a letter that I wrote Sheriff Spangler. There's a sheriff's election coming up, so it's very important who wins the sheriff's race. Now, if one of these sheriffs, and they won't, I'm just offering. I put out the olive branch, and there's another way of dealing with it. But if one of the sheriffs wants to contact me and promise that they'll obey the Constitution and stop their corruption, then I'll openly support them. Until then, there's none of the sheriffs that are running that I know of that are worth a hill of beans. Sheriff Spangler over here, he can't run anymore. Sheriff J.J. Jones hired the former prosecutor, Knox County, after he retired from the prosecutor's office, hired him in the sheriff's department. Wow, isn't that amazing? How good they work. So J.J. Jones. I'm getting attention when they hit the gas pedal and try to interrupt the show. This show's getting out. We're getting attention. Nowhere else will you hear the truth. Unbridled Truth, Charles Van Morgan Show. Fighting the people in government power. Well, I'm not fighting the government. We are the government. They've infiltrated the government. These people in government power are fighting the government, and that's us. So I wrote the sheriff a letter because they kept stopping me, detaining me. They even put me in jail in Chattanooga. But J.J. Jones hired the former prosecutor.
Yeah,
thank you. He hired the former prosecutor, so yeah, they watch me. I'm telling you, the former prosecutor, they hired him after he left the prosecutor's office, Randy Good-for-Nothing Nichols. So isn't that amazing? The sheriff, J.J. Jones, the prosecutor was over him. The prosecutor could have prosecuted sheriff deputies for killing people or whatever, but they have a little friendship going on, such a friendship that after he retired from being a prosecutor, that he went to work for the sheriff that he was supposed to be overseeing. So was he really overseeing when he was in the prosecutor's office, or was he working with him to clear who they wanted to clear and prosecute who they wanted to prosecute? So it sounds like a little behind the scenes thing, because J.J. Jones put Randy Nichols to work for him. So after he got buku bucks from taxpayers for prosecuting innocent people and for lying, Randy Nichols is a dirty liar, a sick, pathetic individual. After he got done doing his dirty in the prosecutor's office, living off tax money, he got even more of your tax money working for his dirty buddy, J.J. Jones. So J.J. Jones is running for sheriff, and I would not vote for J.J. Jones. J.J. Jones hired a dirty prosecutor, and you'll get more of the same, more crooked, more people going to jail. J.J. Jones was in the sheriff's department when there was a dirty judge. Judge Baumgarten was raping women in the courthouse. A few floors below him, J.J. Jones sat in his office and let that stuff go on. You don't think he knew? I think he probably did. And I think Randy Nichols did too, so I wouldn't vote for J.J. Jones. If J.J. Jones wants to reach out to me, he won't, but I'm offering him. I'd like to talk to him and tell him he needs to straighten out his ways and run the sheriff's department right. If he does that, then maybe I'd endorse him, maybe I won't, but not right now. I'll tell you, he's a dirty man. So Spangler, I wrote him a letter because they kept stopping me for campaigning, for running for public office. They didn't stop the billionaire has-been that lowered his taxes after he got in office, used government service for the government to serve him. They didn't stop his buddy, Christian Bill Lee, for running for public office, but they stopped Charles Van Morgan. Why'd they stop me? Because they don't like what I'm saying. But in America, you got to lump it. You got to listen to the other side. It's called the marketplace of ideals. It gives us a fair election where we can hear both sides of the issue. There's only one side out right now. It's their dirty line side that benefits them and harms and damages you and has you put in jail and takes your property and your livelihood and raises the fatality rate where you got a good chance of getting killed on the roads because of these dirt bags. So I'll read you the letter that I hand-served to J.J. Jones if you think I'm a coward, because they're not running over me and making me like it. It ain't going to happen. I got a constitutional rights, and they're not going to step on the Constitution and me ignore it. I'll stand up and fight for the Constitution. So here's the letter I wrote to Mr. J.J. Jones, or Mr. Spangler. and hand-delivered it to the Sheriff's Department. Dear Sheriff Spangler, I'm writing with regard to sheriff deputies' unlawful detentions and orders of me. This has happened on numerous occasions without even complaints and more, and none with any violations of law. I am lawfully conducting a political campaign for governor against the people in power in your party. Just last night, while door knocking lawfully, 2 deputies detained me on the public roadway trying to convince the public not to vote for me. They publicly made derogatory statements, name-calling, calling my campaign literature trash, and making false accusations. One stated I committed disorderly conduct and threatened arrest in a third-party complaint that was also false. As you know, Basic Police 101 and the law, you cannot arrest for a misdemeanor unless it's committed in your presence. None was committed in his presence, or even for that matter at all. As a resident even refused to vote for me because of gaining favor with your deputies while your department was committing an illegal act. Further, they told me if they could get another false complaint, they will, under oath, they will arrest me. Yeah, for running for governor. While in far West Tennessee campaigning, a warrants officer of yours called and told me I had to come immediately to get served with papers. The papers were for a false civil issue that was perpetrated by a paid member of your Republican Party for the purpose of stopping my campaign. The warrants officer told me she would speak to the judge, attempting to have me arrested and sway his ruling in court with her false allegations. I'm sure she did just that. 08/11/21. In court, a Knox County deputy tampered with witnesses in open court, telling a witness what to say while the witness was under oath testifying. What a circus. I have seen your letter to President Joe Biden and ask you not to be the campaign police, as I'm not violating any laws. You were in the military and fought for this country. I thank you for that, but you fought to protect democracy, not tear it down. When you abide by the Constitution, I appreciate your service to Knox County citizens as sheriff. I also faithfully served in law enforcement for 18 years, leading the state in drunk driving arrest and convictions, protecting lives beyond measure. I was wrongly accused. I saw or should have seen a wreck. I did not see it and identify it as a wreck, and could not have. One of the reasons I'm running for governor is that kind of corruption by the government happens to innocent people all the time, and I'm going to clean that up. I would urge you as a Christian to attempt to do the same. So here's my letter to the sheriff. I hand delivered it. Psalm 116. The Lord is on my side. I will not fear what man can do unto me. Please educate your officers on political campaigns, not how they can get around the Constitution and stop a well-qualified candidate. Simply obey it. After all, they are sworn to uphold it, and I won't tolerate this unlawful conduct. Trust me, this is not a game, and I will fight like hell to protect Tennesseans' political rights and my rights. The question is, are you willing to fight like hell to tear up the Constitution. Charles Van Morgan. So that's the letter that I wrote the sheriff. And now there's one up for re-election. So we'll still fight like hell to protect the Constitution. So leave us the hell alone. If you don't like what we're saying, ignore us. Stand on the other side of the sidewalk and tell the other truck, tell what lie you got to tell. So voters of truth, enraged. Truth tellers must rise, expose corruption, break insider networks, give power back to the public. If you don't expose nepotism, nepotism will ruin your state. So I want you to find one person, share this video with them, tell them this is why Tennessee needs truth tellers. Go vote, Charles Van Morgan. So find one person, tell them about this video. Help this channel out. And I want to mention that, and we've had a lot of people waving and telling me they watch the channel, several people, so we thank them so very much for that. So we're getting some public attention, we're getting the message out, and if you like the channel, like, share, comment, and donate if you can. So we thank y'all for coming on board. The position that we take about abortion is I'm pro-life. Vote for your core values. That's a core value that I cannot break. It doesn't matter about liking somebody's personality. If they go against your core values, don't vote for them. If they're pro-abortion, if they're pro-death of innocent children, then don't vote for them. That's as simple as I can put it, a core value that I have that I believe you should have. If you're pro-life, then support this channel. If you're pro-choice, as you want to call it, that's fine. You can still follow. Maybe that's not one of your core beliefs. We don't hate you. God forgives people. I know for sure that I'm not perfect, although many of you I probably think that I am, right? But God's a forgiving God. And so demonic worship is a demonic thing that can rise demonic opposition. But God will protect us. So thank y'all for joining me. I want to mention that I'm available to speak at your church or at your bar. Some people say I'm pretty damn entertaining. This is a YouTube. You're not in person. It's a heck of a lot different when you're up close in person. And you can say things that you couldn't say on YouTube. And if I'm in church, I'll keep the foul language out. So if you want me to speak at your church, I'll be glad to do that for free. I'll give my testimony at a church. I'm a God-fearing Christian, and I trust in the Lord. Didn't say I was a good one. I try to be. Work on it a little better every day. And also, if you want me to speak at your bar, I'll get you some business for a advertising fee. I'll advertise your business on YouTube and tell them where I'm going to go speak. So contact me at charlesvanmorgan@gmail.com, and I'll come and speak at your business, and I'll advertise for your business on YouTube. And also, if you want me to, I'll advertise for your business on two of the bridges, two of the only 3 bridges that cross the Tennessee River in Knoxville. So everybody that crosses the bridge has to go across one of 3 bridges, and I'll be at a location on Chapman at Moody where you have to go past there to cross 2 different bridges. So I'll be at a location that gets you across the Tennessee River, and there's only one other bridge that I won't be near. So it's a highly traveled area. It's a way you have to go across two of the 3 bridges. That's the only way you can get across the Tennessee River. So it's a high location. I'll advertise with a sign about your your venue and come and speak there. If you want me just to advertise for your business, let me know. I'll advertise it on YouTube, and I'll show the sign at the location where you have to go by there to cross 2 of the 3 bridges. So I'll be glad to do that. If you want to contact me, we'll work out the details. CharlesVanMorgan@gmail.com, and I'll advertise if it's a legitimate good business. So I'd love to come to your venue and talk, and I'll get you some business by speaking out on YouTube, and also by holding the sign out at a heavily trafficked area. You can see people see me every day, and so they know I'm on here, and we'll get you some business if it's a legitimate good location, and you talk nice to me. So thank y'all so very much for listening. This is Charles Van Morgan. Also, when the football game, the mattress place, these people let me put a sign up, so let me advertise for them. The mattress place on Chapman Highway at Moody or at Stone Road. Mattress place the mattress place on Chapman Highway at Stone Road. A military veteran sells mattresses there. He let me put my campaign outside his store when I was running for city council. So go by, very nice man, go by, visit his store. And also the corner market downtown in the UT area. That man let me put out signs at 2 of his businesses down in the UT area. Very nice man. So even let me sit out there for a while and let me campaign. So the corner market, very nice people, so patronize that business. And I want to say hello to my friends on here. Thank y'all so very much for joining us. Also, if you want to buy my book, I know it's pretty expensive, but it's got a lot of really good information in it. It is the former Trooper Charles Van Morgan story in an effort to save lives and correct the record. It is $149 for an electronic copy, and also $199 for a hard copy. If you want a hard copy, email me at charlesvanmorgan@gmail.com. And so we'll probably, if we have news going on during the weekend that we can get to, we'll go live and broadcast live on this channel of the news, where it's at, and tell you the unbridled truth about it from my perspective. Talk to people on the scene. That's the best way to find out what's going on, is live on the scene, to talk to people that are really there without the intervention of the fake news or the intervention of crooked, biased people in government power. We'll just listen live on the scene and talk to people where we can do that if news happens where we can get too closely. If you want us to go to news events all across the state and all across America, then fund the channel. Hit the square icon or the Cash App and help us buy a microphone. So hit the super chat. So we have gotten some people contributing. And if you can't do any of that, I understand. If you don't have the money, don't. I got it. I know. And I wasn't raised with a silver spoon. What you can do is hit the subscribe button and hit the like button, and that helps get the message out. Getting the message out is a big part of this movement. Voters of truth enraged, and the more we get voters of truth encouraged. So join the movement, Power to You the People movement. And we thank y'all so very much. The channel's blowing up. They can't stop the truth, unfiltered, unedited, live on the street. A lot of inconvenient things happen, but that's part of life, isn't it? That's part of the signature of the show. Real life going on the way it really happens, and not fake scripted. So that's why we broadcast live, and we've had a lot of luck doing that. And there's a phenomenon called luck. The Bible teaches about luck. People say they don't believe in luck. It exists. The way you get good luck is you do the things that are likely to cause an event to happen in your favor, and you don't do the things that are likely to cause the bad event that you want to happen. And that's how you get luck. You put yourself in a position to get luck, and luck will happen by odds and probability. So event will happen in the law of large term numbers says an event will happen in the long run as often as it's supposed to according to its probability. So the way you get good luck, you want the probability of good things to happen, is you do things that put you in a position to get that good luck. So we're putting ourselves in a position to get the message out to people to vote in Tennessee, and continuing doing that. That's part of the fight to get the message out. And here in the past few months, we've done a very good job of that, putting ourselves in the position, going live almost every day, and we'll continue to do that to fight the evil in people who have infiltrated our state government. So we'll keep putting ourselves on YouTube, keep putting ourselves on a public forum, keep going out on the streets, keep holding signs up, keep raising awareness of the issues. And the issue today, if you get nothing else, is this movement is vote. Voters of Tennessee enraged. Power to you, the people movement. And the point today, if you don't get anything else, is to vote, whoever you vote for your core values. You don't have to like their personality. You don't have to like everything about them. Have a litmus test. A test that I won't vote for this person if they believe in this that I don't believe in. And my litmus test, above all, trumps all, is the value of life. I mean, what do we have if we're not alive? Life is valuable and precious. So my litmus test is to vote for people who value life, who don't want abortion on demand. That should be restricted. One of the arguments about abortion is that they use, that has so many flaws in it, is that if you were to wake up in bed one morning and you were hooked up to a famous violinist, and that violinist, you were hooked up because their liver didn't work, and they hooked you up to their liver, and you were having to drain their liver, and they made you do that. You didn't have a choice. And they allege that a group, the violinist lovers, got you and kidnapped you and put you to sleep and hooked you up to that person, and that's like abortion. Should you be ordered to keep that violinist alive? And that's one of the major arguments of pro-abortion advocates, is that violinist argument that you have no obligation to keep that violinist alive, but you should be able to cut the cord and let the violinist die. That the movement for loving violinists has no right to order you to be hooked up to that violinist and keep them alive. That's the argument they perpetrate. That is a pro-abortion argument, and that has so many obvious flaws in it. That's been going on for years. I'm not sure if they still use that argument, that you should be allowed to cut the cord and not be obligated to keep that violinist alive. So the truth of the matter is, an unborn child is not a stranger. It is something that a woman initiates, and maybe, albeit sometimes involuntarily, but it is a part of her body. It's a part of her, started as a part of her. It's not completely a foreign, it is part of her. So that's one of the fallacies of that argument. And the other fallacy is she had a choice, unless it was rape. Somebody didn't abduct her and put her in bed and hook her up to somebody. That's part of something that she took part in, and is part of her. So there's so many fallacies in that argument that is pro-death. And yes, you do have an obligation to your unborn child. And in the Bible it talks about if someone kills a child before it's born, they've committed murder. So although it doesn't specifically say murder, the Bible assigns value to an unborn child in the fact that if someone kills an unborn child, they're guilty of the same crime as if they were alive outside the womb. So the Bible does speak about the value of the unborn, the value of if you murder them, you're guilty of the crime of murder. So the Bible assigns value to the unborn. The Bible teaches that God knew you before you were born. So to cut off the being born is to cut off what God would have for your destiny. So, and obviously the devil and Satan and Lucifer and demonic forces want human life to end. They want to kill every human being. Satan and Lucifer and demons hate people. They hate human beings. They hate humanity, and they want us all dead. God loves the world. God loves people, and God loves the unborn. And we should speak up for the unborn and vote for people, put people in office who will perpetrate the truth of the value and the sanctity of human life. So that is a litmus test that I would encourage all of you all to go through. Is a litmus test that don't vote for people that say reproductive freedom, because it's not about reproductive freedom. It's about demonic worship. And I pray God protects me and everyone that believes in pro-life, because it's a demonic fight. It's a fight more than just people. It's a demonic fight, because abortion of the unborn is satanic ritual. They have argued, the Satanic Church has argued in the Supreme Court that it's part of their sacrifices. So to stand up for pro-life is invoking the possibility of evil forces, demonic forces, to come against you. So I would ask everyone, when you do that, to pray that God protects you. And I pray through the Lord Jesus Christ that He protects me for standing on the side of pro-life and standing against demonic worship, which is what they have said that they do, self-admitted, as part of their worship. The Satanic churches fought for abortion rights. They have fought for the right to do satanic worship, which is murder of the innocent. So don't fool yourself. This is unbridled truth. It's more of a fight than just fighting humanity. It's just fighting evil, wicked people in government power. It's fighting the evil, wicked forces that put them in government power. I mean, how did Kamala Harris rise to all the way to the vice president, basically unknown, when she about wrecked California based on her previous history? While she was the vice president, the borders were wide open. How did she rise to the level of vice president and also a nominee for the president of the United States without demonic forces helping her rise to that level? Now, thankfully, by the grace of God, we have a pro-life position president, maybe not as pro-life as he should be, I don't know. But he stands on the, and under his leadership, led by the grace of God, we have a ruling in the United States Supreme Court that has overturned abortion on demand, which is a good ruling, which is why I voted for Donald Trump. The main reason was the pro-life issue. So you can still vote if you are pro-choice. That might not be a litmus test for you. You can still support the movement. We believe in negotiating and handing out the olive branch. There are reasons for abortions. There are. They're not very common. The media exploits the issues by focusing on extreme cases that rarely, if ever, happen. But the pro-life movement is not unreasonable. If the child is going to kill the mother beyond a reasonable medical certainty, and it's not a bunch of hogwash, then of course we're for pro-life. It'll kill both of them. Then obviously the pro-life movement is not is absolutely not unreasonable. The pro-abortion movement is unreasonable because it's based on demonic worship. It has a lot of demonic forces, a lot of propaganda, a lot of deception going on. I mean, Lucifer, the father of deception that deceived Eve, is involved in the promotion of abortion, is involved in the promotion of worship to him by sacrificing the most innocent in society. So obviously, Lucifer's a lot smarter than me and a lot smarter than you, and his propaganda is a lot better. That's why it's a controversial issue to them. It's not a controversial if you're pro-life, the value of human life. From birth all the way to death, we should value and try to promote the value of life, and not promote abortion, and not promote euthanasia, older people dying. That's why we should promote hospitals for the elderly, to keep them alive as long as possible, and to promote the quality of life. That's what this movement is about. That's why this movement is about violence. We don't want to kill or hurt anybody. We're standing on the side of truth, and God will protect us. God protects right. And we're standing on the side of proof and not violent, not pro-death, pro-life. Even to our enemies, we don't want death. Now, they might do it to themselves, and a lot of times they do. They create an environment that's deadly to themselves. And that's not at our doing. That's at their own demise, what they've handed to themselves. But this movement, voters of truth enraged, or voters of truth encouraged when we get in power, is a movement that is a life movement, a prosperous movement, even for our enemies. We love our enemies. We're doing what's good for them. How wicked they are. We're doing what's good for them, pointing out how wicked they are to protect even them. And they need to go to jail. That's a safe place for them because they're dangerous and violent to themselves. So thank you all so very much. The channel's blowing up. Haven't had a lot of people on here today. I think YouTube is their algorithm is sanctioning our program. They've demonetized some of my videos. Go ahead. It's like $1 or something. I'd rather tell the truth. I can't be bought out for $1 or $10 million. I wouldn't let somebody die for $10 million. And I know what the people in government power have painted, but it's a dirty lie, and I can prove it, and they can't. And that's why they fear me on here. They don't want me. They don't want people to hear me speak, because I speak the truth. I speak the truth. So thank you all so very much for listening. May God bless you all. The most important message of today is support people that support your core values. The personality, money, wealth, position, what the government says about them is kind of irrelevant. It is very relevant. If they don't support your core values, don't vote for them. And thank you, Huddy. I appreciate that. If they don't support your core values, don't vote for them. If they support your core values, that's who we're looking at. We're looking at truth. Look for people who present the truth. That's who you vote for. People that are pro-life, reasonably pro-life, people that are pro-demonic sacrifice by their own admission, argued in the Supreme Court. I wouldn't vote for them. You're voting for demonic forces, and you're liable to be blessed. You're liable to. But I wouldn't want that kind of blessing, because the devil, Satan, Lucifer, will help people. That helps him. That's how Kamala Harris rose all the way from nowhere in her catastrophe of any government office she's ever worked in, to be able to get millions of votes all across the United States because of demonic and satanic help. But I don't want that kind of help. I pray that God protects me from the devil, from satanic forces, for standing up against murdering innocent children, for standing up against satanic worship. A lot more powerful than any man, and God will protect me. So thank y'all for joining me. God bless you all. And always, the last thing I say is God loves you, and I do too.